barista, he should know what he has to do in the morning with trying himself the coffee and then organizing himself on the making coffee.
One short macchiato, short black, cafe latte, soy cappuccino and cappuccino.
Cappuccino, cafe latte, flat white, macchiato, long macchiato, mocha, iced coffee, corretto, affogato. There's so many drinks on the coffee menu. Let's go through a few basics.
When things get busy, you're going to have multiple orders to prepare and serve, and you're going to have to make several different coffees at once. This will become second nature, but you have to think about your strategy for each order. How do you best use limited time, extracting coffees and texturing milk most efficiently? First, let's look at coffees with an espresso base. The espresso is 30 mils in 25 seconds. You can extract 2 espressos at the same time with the double group handle. Here, we're preparing the espresso base for a cappuccino and a latte. The cappuccino is served in a warm ceramic cup. Textured milk is poured onto the espresso until the foam reaches just above the rim. This is a strong tasting coffee with 1/3 coffee and only 1/3 milk, drunk through a dense layer of foam. Another dollop of foam can be added to give a domed effect. Sprinkle with chocolate powder for a delicious finish. Back to our espresso extraction, this time for a latte. Latte is served in a warm glass. Not as foamy as a cappuccino, add hot milk to the espresso base with just 1 centimetre of dense foam on top. The flat white is also served in a ceramic cup with an espresso base. This time, just add hot milk with barely any foam. Be careful not to overfill the cup. As there's no foam to hold the coffee above the rim, it can easily spill over into the saucer. In Italian, macchiato means stained or marked. Begin with an espresso in a small espresso cup or glass. Add a dash of cold milk so that the milk falls to the bottom, and finish with a dollop of foam. Now let's take a look at drinks made with a doppio or double espresso base. A doppio extraction is a 25-second extraction of 2 30ml shots. So that's 60 mils from the double group head in 25 seconds. To prepare a long black, half a cup of water from the boiler is first added to a warm cup. Add a doppio espresso base, 2 full shots for 25 seconds. A doppio espresso is also used when customers order drinks in larger volume cups or mugs. The macchiato lungo, or long macchiato, is a drink which was first created in Melbourne, Australia. It's a longer version of the short macchiato. Pour half a glass of hot water from the boiler into a latte glass. Add a doppio, or double espresso base, that is, a 25-second extraction of 2 full shots. Add a dash of cold milk, which will fall to the bottom of the glass, and a dollop of foam. The ristretto is the primary extraction, the first 15 mils in 15 seconds, and it's used as the base for weaker coffee drinks. So, to prepare a weak latte, use a single ristretto, the primary extraction of 15 mils in 15 seconds. Add milk with 1 centimetre of foam. Customers will also ask for strong versions of the espresso menu. For strong lattes, cappuccinos, long blacks or flat whites, start with a doppio ristretto. That's 2 primary extractions of 15 seconds, an intense base. In other words, 30 mils from the double group handle in just 15 seconds. Add hot milk to the espresso base with just 1 centimetre of dense foam on top. Mocha is a rich combination of chocolate and coffee served in a cup or glass. Here we've chosen a mug, which means the drink is based on a doppio espresso. 2 full shots of 30 mils in 25 seconds. But you can also make the drink in a latte glass or cappuccino cup. Add 1 dessert spoonful of chocolate powder per cup of fresh cold milk and texture together in the jug. Add the silky chocolate milk to the coffee for a delicious result. Milk and chocolate textured together make a sensational hot chocolate. And try adding marshmallow. Flavoured sugar syrups have become a feature of many cafes and coffee outlets. Syrup can be added directly to the espresso, or it can be foamed with the milk. Any flavour that works with coffee works as a syrup.
There's nothing more impressive than a coffee that's perfectly made and beautifully presented. It's great for business. Customers love a coffee that looks and tastes great. Today, we're going to teach you how to get that wow factor that keeps customers coming back. Before we even think about doing patterns on top of our coffees, we need to do things slightly differently. We need to texture the milk correctly to enable us to draw the latte art. Although full cream milk tastes best with espresso coffee, we can use a low fat or soy milk. The key is texturing the milk.
Choose a small stainless steel jug. 600 ml to 1 litre works best, and half fill it with fresh cold milk. It is important that the milk is straight from the fridge. Purge and wipe the steaming wand and place the tip just below the surface of the milk. Turn it on and heat the milk to around 40 degrees Celsius or lukewarm. As the volume of the milk in the jug increases, maintain the same position. For this type of milk texture, we do not want volume, so it is important to allow the steam wand to stay well submerged in the milk. Heat to 65 degrees Celsius, then turn off the steaming wand. The milk should be shiny, velvety, smooth and bubble-free. Most importantly, it should be the right consistency for pouring, a bit like thick pouring cream. If there are any bubbles, tap the jug on the bench. Keep the milk moving in the jug by swirling it until you are ready to pour.
We need to extract the coffee first, so as soon as we've textured the milk, we can pour it straight away. We're going to start off with a few basic patterns to begin with. It's going to take plenty of practice and patience, so don't be discouraged, and whatever you do, don't give up.
Pour the milk against the back of the cup so that it forms a B. Using a skewer, scroll through it from side to side, then through the middle. Simple, but beautiful. Pour the milk into the centre of the coffee, bringing the crema up to the top with the milk underneath it. About 2/3 through, tilt and jiggle the jug from side to side. This will allow the milk to break through, creating a milky circle on the top of the coffee. Pull away from you to draw up the heart. Pour the milk into the centre of the coffee, bringing the crema up to the top with the milk underneath it. About 2/3 through, tilt and jiggle the jug from side to side. Now pull through with a skewer down to the base 5 times. Then pull out from the base in between. Pour into the centre of the crema. As the white milk starts to come through, sway the jug from side to side, keeping it in the same line. To finish, pull away through the swirls. This pattern depends on a relaxed pouring action from the wrist.
We're going to move on now and have a look at some patterns using chocolate syrup. They're a lot of fun and look great. The possibilities are endless.
For these patterns, you will need a squeezable bottle with a fine nozzle, chocolate powder, a cup, a dessert spoon, skewers, and a good imagination. To make the syrup, you'll need a double shot of espresso. Sprinkle over chocolate powder and mix thoroughly until it becomes a shiny syrup. Pour the syrup into the squeezable bottle with a fine nozzle and refrigerate until cold. Pour the milk into the coffee, carefully keeping the milk below the crema. Spoon a dollop of foam into the middle. With the spoon, take small amounts of foam and make 8 spokes into the centre. Using a skewer, start from the centre of the coffee and spiral out to the edge of the cup in one fluid movement. Pour the cappuccino and sprinkle chocolate powder over the bottom half of the coffee. Then draw a chocolate stripe around the outside of the top. With a skewer, make spokes, like this. Then top with milk to create the sunrise. Pour the cappuccino carefully. You only want a small dot of milk to come through the crema on top. Spoon foam around the outside carefully, about 1 centimetre wide. Now define this with the chocolate syrup by drawing around the inside edge of the foam. Then another stripe around the small circle of foam in the centre. Now, using the skewer, pull out 8 times from the centre. Then another 8 times in the other direction, working from the outside of the cup back towards the middle. Pour the cappuccino carefully. Only allow a small amount of milk to come through. Spoon foam onto the centre. Define the foam centre with chocolate sauce. Then swirl through with a skewer. Finish with a small dot of crema in the centre. This time with a latte. Pour carefully against the back of the glass so the milk crema stays on one side of the surface. Draw 4 to 5 horizontal lines through the area on top of the coffee where the milk crema and the coffee crema meet. With a skewer, scroll through in a continuous motion. There are many variations of this simple pattern. These lattice patterns are great examples.